Hello everyone, Matt from Model Minutes here, and welcome back to the Workbench. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Quite a lot of people ask me to show them what I've got in the stash. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a bit of a stash reveal today. And because I've got quite a few, and yeah, that's like another issue in itself. But because I've got quite a few, I thought the best thing to do in the first video was to show you all the small model kits I've got, sort of the ones that fit in my little filming area here. The bigger ones I'll do in another video. So this isn't everything. I can't find everything. I've got a few model kits probably in a few other places, but this is pretty much everything. The only thing I ask is, please don't judge me. I haven't really realized how many kits I've got, and as you know, as one of my t-shirts says, building and collecting model kits are two different hobbies. So yeah, please don't judge me with the number of kits that I've got, because yeah, I don't need any more, basically. Don't need any more. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get into this video. Join me as I see how many kits I actually have in my stash. So I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I'm literally just going to get them up as I have them in my hand. Forgive me if you hear my squeaky chair as I move around to do this. And the first thing I've grabbed is this, and this is probably one of the smallest kits I have in the stash. This is a 1:2000 scale Missouri, which I got from the Works, which is a discount bookshop here in the UK for about £2. It says it down there. But it's actually a rebox of another brand. Can't remember off the top of my head what brand it is. But yeah, I built a couple of the other ships in this series. I've built I think I've built the New Jersey in the hood, which you can find build videos of on my channel. But generally speaking, tiny little kits, but okay. So first kit down. I've got some older kits here, which it's worth mentioning that not all of my kits are from now, but some of them, or most of them, actually date from 2016 when I first got back into modelling. This particular kit, the Revell de Havilland DH2, I've had this probably about, I don't know, close to 20 years now. So it's been out of the box a few times. I've had a look through the instructions and things. It is still complete, but yeah, this is something I've had in the stash for many, many years. I will get around to building this at some point, as I hope with everything else. Again, another one here. I've got a Submarine Walrus Mark 1. It's a bit tatty. It's got some stainings on the box. It's old. It's been in my stash for many, many years. I actually had it out at one point and was messing around with it to see if it actually floated. So I think when we get to an actual build video on that, you'll probably see that I've already taken bits off the sprue. This is another old kit that I've had in the stash for many years. Albatross D3. I sort of went through a phase of wanting to build biplanes, as you can probably tell. And then I realised that I don't like biplanes because of all that rigging. So, yeah, swings and roundabouts, I guess. Speaking of biplanes, one of my most recent videos was on this, the ICM i5 Early, which is another model I bought because it was interesting. I'm still not a fan of the rigging, but I'm hoping to build this one soon. So if you want to see a review video on this one, you'll find it on my channel, and it wasn't released that long ago actually. I've got this one quite close to me, and you'll remember that I actually added some of these figures to my Airfix Lancaster build. They're not too bad, they are pretty old. This one is re-released as part of the Vintage Classic range. You get quite a good number of figures in there, but they're molded in this sort of soft plastic. It's a bit rubbery and the paint doesn't stick too well to them. I mean, they are quite nice figures, but that is a bit of a problem, and the paint just doesn't stay. But yeah, not too bad. I will get round to adding more of these figures to some of my dioramas in the future. Up next is possibly the oldest kit I own. I got this one on eBay for £3, I think. And I've had a look online. I can't remember exactly when the date was, but it's like 1960s, 1970s. It's a red stripe Airfix box. And apparently those are some of the rarest ones you can get. Sadly, as you can see, the box is not in the best of states. I don't think it was well looked after. And if we take a look inside the box here, you can see that all the parts are off the sprue. The transfers, the decals, they have not survived well. And I'm actually missing a couple of parts. I think the main gun and some elements of the landing gear housing is missing. The moulding is pretty good, for them, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame that I'm missing those parts because I can't build it straight off. I'd have to sort of manufacture some more. But yeah, it's quite nice to have some old kits in the stash. This is one of my train kits. I've got a Kitmaster by DePaul BR rail bus. It's been out of the packet just because I was interested in seeing how it went together. That's what it should look like when it's built up. It's not motorised. You don't get a working chassis with it. It's literally just a plastic body kit. You do get some wheels. There, you can see the wheels, which in theory lets you roll it along some 00 gauge track. But I'm actually hoping, long-term pipe dream project, to be able to motorise this at some point. I know there are motorising kits out there, but I want to do my own motorising project. Maybe I might 3D print something, I don't know. I don't have a 3D printer, but in the future, who knows. I've got quite a few starter sets in the stash as well. This is an Airfix Royal Air Force Red Arrows Nat. I've built quite a few Nats already. I've built a Yellowjack one, and I think I built another one. I'm sure I built another one. Yeah, I can't remember. I have built one now, at least one. Yeah, they're quite good kits. I've already had the box open just to compare that it was 100% identical. This one comes with some paints and things. It's a little bit older now, so the paints probably won't be any good. But yeah, it's quite a nice kit. There we go. There is a 1:144 scale Tornado GR Mark 1, which I think I did an unboxing on a few years back. This has been in the stash quite a while. I got this as a work leaving present from a previous job. So yeah, it has been in there a long while. Things are off the sprue and stuff in there, but it looks to be quite a nice kit. Another small scale kit is this MiG-23 flogger. Again, not probably the best kit in the world. It's very similar to the F-16 kit that I built not long ago from Academy, but you know, it looks okay. Sort of the same mold quality, probably going to have the same fit issues. Looking at the pictures on the outside, it does look a little bit crude, but it shouldn't be too... Oh, let's zoom in on that. That's no good, is it? But it shouldn't be too difficult to build. At some point I will get around to that one. That's like a weekend build type project. Some of you might remember a little while ago I reviewed this, the Submarine Swift FR5. One thing I didn't pick up, but there were a couple of sink marks on the wings. But generally this looks to be quite a nice kit. If you watch my second channel, you'll know that the Swift is one of my favourite aircraft to play in War Thunder, and I always wanted one to go along with the game that I play. So that one sort of made it in the stash that way. The F-117A Nighthawk is a kit that has been reviewed on my channel, and you'll remember that it isn't particularly difficult. It says it's a level 3 skill level, but I just don't agree with that. It is a level 3 in the way that Revell mark out their kits because it's got over 30 parts. It's got 37, but basically this is a snap type kit. It's a click together kit. It's all molded in black. It's not difficult. It's not going to be difficult to build. If you want to see the full review on that one, take a look on my channel. I think I got this for Christmas, but I can't remember entirely. I do get a lot of these as gifts. Speaking of Christmas, I actually got this one as Secret Santa this year, so someone in the workplace obviously knows that I like building models and got me the Revell Eurofighter Typhoon starter set. And I quite like these Revell starter sets because they have a two-ended brush with two different thicknesses, this contact to professional, and the acrylic paints are usually quite good quality as well. Yeah, they can be a little bit harder to build because this is effectively just a normal release of the kit with a few extra bolt-ons up there, but generally I hope it's going to be a good build. I have built a couple of Revell starter kits in the past, but this was before I started my channel, so it'll be interesting to see if they are the same as what I remember. I've got a Douglas A4 Skyhawk in the stash as well. This looks to be a very interesting model. I know some of the other guys that I follow on YouTube have built some of these already, and I think that's actually kind of the reason why I went to buy one, because it did look to be a pretty cool model. See down there, I got this in the Hornby shop in Swindon before it closed down. you know, that's quite a good price. Sadly, it's not there anymore. And speaking of Swindon, here's another model I got there. I think this was possibly their closing down sale, because everything I got in that time period was reduced. I've already built a Wildcat on my channel, which was the starter set version, but this is the Martlet version, so effectively the type of Wildcat that was flown by the Royal Air Force, because that was the name that they chose to give it. Quite a nice kit from my recollection. I think I only got this one because it was on special, and also because I've not done the RAF version of it, but the kit inside looks to be identical to the Wildcat I built previously. And here's another kit that I pretty much forgot I had. Again, I got it reduced. A Focke-Wulf Ta. It was suggested to me over on my Discord server that I get one of these. I know it's not a biplane, it's a monoplane, but it has got a lot of rigging, which sort of put me off a bit. This one does not come with paints and glue. It just has the colour call-outs there. But, you know, I've looked inside the box, have I? Oh, no, I haven't. Yes, I have. I have looked inside the box. I think I've looked inside the box of every single kit I own, to be honest. So, yeah, from my memory, it is a nicely moulded model. At some point, I will get round to doing this one. Italeri, I've got a couple of helicopters in my stash. And this is the Italeri Apache. There should be a review video on my channel for this one. I don't have many Italeri kits. I think this might be the only one, actually. I think I've built another one in the past before I started my channel. And from my experience, they've all been quite good. You know, I haven't had a bad one yet. Hopefully this one will continue the trend. On the back here, we've got the British Army and the Dutch Army, and I'm probably going to go for the British one, you know, being British and all. Something else I reviewed a little while ago, the F-104G Starfighter from Academy. Not one of the best tooled kits in the world. It's, you know, quite simplistic in its parts. The pilot looks absolutely horrendous over here. It's just a moulded lump, really. But it will be something that will keep me entertained over a weekend or two. I think I just need to find the right colour paints for it, really. Got some more figures. So we looked at the RAF figures just now, but I've also got the counterparts in the Luftwaffe personnel. If you've seen my Revell Junkers 87 build, you'll know that I used some of these figures in that one. It's the same sort of deal, soft plastic, paint doesn't stick to it very well, but the mold quality is quite good. So yeah, not bad in general. Something a little bit bigger. This is probably one of the biggest kits I'm going to look at in my small kit stash, because it doesn't quite fit on, but it's a small scale, so I thought I'd include it. It's the HMS Ark Royal from Revell, and it has a tribal class destroyer in it as well. This, I think, was a Christmas present a couple of years ago. And if you look on the back there, we've got some nice images of the Ark Royal and destroyer, which are already built up. And I think it was on cheap, actually. That's why it was bought for me. And you get two kits in one. And I don't do many ships, and I thought it would make a good addition to my build repertoire. So, you know, let me know down in the comments, is this something that you might want to see me build? Sticking with the nautical theme, I have this from Revell as well. A German submarine Type 23. I have not done an unboxing on this yet, I think. It's hard to keep track of them all, to be honest. I have to, before I do an unboxing, I have to basically search my channel to make sure I haven't already done one. But yeah, it looks to be a very interesting kit. Not many parts. It's a level 4 in skill, but that doesn't really mean anything in the Revell skill world. Quite simplistic paint scheme on there. But yeah, again, something else to add to my build repertoire, to add a little bit of variety, really. Let's change the tempo a little. Shush, chair. Let's change the tempo a little bit and look at something different. So, sci-fi. I've got a Darth Vader's TIE Fighter in whatever scale this is. I can't remember now. Basically, this is the same as the boxed versions, but they came in these sort of bags. I've not had it open. It has sort of opened itself a little bit at the bottom, but I don't think I've actually been inside it. This was actually on cheap. I think it was like a Black Friday sort of deal from Hobbycraft here in the UK. Normally these retail for about £5, but I'm pretty sure I got it for £2.50. I have built a couple of these Revell kits in the past, and they've been alright from my experience, but I've never built this one. On the same vein, I've got a TIE interceptor. Same deal, in a little baggie. But again, got this on a Black Friday deal. £2.50, I'm pretty sure. At some point, I will get around to doing that one. Sticking with Revell and Sci-Fi, I've got this, an ARC 170 clone fighter. And I think this looks really cool, actually. It's a really interesting kit. It's from the sort of prequel era. It's sort of a precursor to the X-Wing, which I quite like, but it's got more guys in it, including a gunner. I was going to build this a couple of years ago when I built my Obi-Wan Starfighter, but I just never got round to it, sadly. I even kept some of the same colour paint so I could use it, but I put it in a little glass bottle. I've got it here somewhere, actually. Hang on. There we go. I put it in a little glass bottle, but as you can see, it's completely dried out now, so it's basically going to have to be remixed from start, really. That's a shame, but yeah, I'll get round to it eventually. And I think this is the last Sci-Fi kit in the small stash, and it's this, a Bandai, down there, BB-8 and R2-D2. This was, again, a gift from my wife, I believe, and this is just fantastic. I've built the Bandai Millennium Falcon, and the mould quality in here is just as good. It basically clips together. I will, as he says with every single kit that he's got here, get round to building it at some point. I was quite excited to build this one when I got it, but then obviously just the other things got in the way. So moving on, we're back to the aircraft. I've got a lot of these. I've got a Revell Messerschmitt ME262. Again, I've looked inside the box. It seems to be alright. It's not a bad moulding. It's pretty good. I think I got an ME262 because someone left a comment saying build an ME262. So I've got one. It's here. It will happen. Some of you will remember seeing this one in a review video, the Heinkel HE70 F2, which is a reboxing from someone else. Can't remember off the top of my head. It looks okay as far as a kit goes, but I wasn't 100% impressed with it. Here's another German theme from Revell, a V2 rocket. Again, I bought this one because it just looks fascinating, doesn't it? Doesn't that look amazing on the front cover there? Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's not what I would normally build, but it just drew my eye, and I'm like, I needed that. Pretty sure I got this for Christmas. Put it on my wish list. Someone got it for me, and this might be the only one I've not actually opened. I've not seen inside. It's sealed. I've not been inside this box, so that will be a treat when we get round to unboxing it. Now, something a little bit older, a Bristol Beaufighter TFX. This is the old tool from Airfix, sort of 1990s, early 2000s age. I got this pre-COVID, so that was probably about 2018, I want to say, 2017, 2018. I went to a like a toy fair or a swap meet type of thing, and the guy there, he wanted £10 for it, and I said to him, it's not worth £10, I'm sorry. You know, you can buy the new tool version for that. And he said, okay, well, we started haggling, and I said, right, before we drop the price, and you know, I got down to like £7, and I said, before I, you know, get into this, well, I mean, it's complete as far as I can tell. The transfers are a bit old. They're not great. A little bit worn there. The parts are all there as far as I can tell. But I managed to say to him that the instructions aren't all there. I am missing the painting instructions and the cover sheet. This is literally just the build part. I don't have any painting instructions. So I said to him, look, I haven't got the painting instructions. If you're selling this as a collector's item, which effectively you are, because it's a collector's fair, not craft fair, swap fair, toy fair, whatever it is. You're trying to sell to the collector among us, not the builder. It's not complete, is it? It's not a complete set. It's not worth the money that you think you're calling for it. It's also very tatty. So he said, all right, fair enough. I'll give you £5. £5. Take £5 and it's yours. So I said, brilliant, £5 and we're done. But this is it, isn't it? It's like kits like this. I get why some people want to store them and not build them, but that's not me. Kits, eventually, any kit in my stash, I have the intention of building, and at some point, he says it again, I will do it. Another old kit, This is a Hella Messerschmitt BF109. Got this off eBay. It was in my eBay video from a few years back. I can't remember off the top of my head how much I paid for it. I think the job lot was something like £10. Yeah, this is quite an old one. It's a bit tatty in the box, but otherwise it's pretty complete. Old instructions there. Even, if it can see it, down here came with a little glue pouch. That's obviously dried out now and gone. I think that probably the transfers haven't survived too well. It's not been out of the bag in all the years that it has existed. It has not been out of the bag. I've actually thought about building this one quite a few times, but just haven't got round to it. But yeah, a nice little bit of modelling history. Along the same vein, Hella Republic F-84G Thunderjet. There is a review video on this. It's a bit tatty. It's quite a nice looking model, quite simple. It has held up quite well. The parts are all there, the decals are all there. At some point I will get around to doing this one as well. For those of you who watch my channel quite often, I have the worst, possibly, kit in the world. Well, it's maybe not in the world, but actually we'll compare that at some point to something I'll look at in a minute. This is a Mr. Craft IL-2M, which I bought purely because, you know, I haven't built an IL-2M yet. But take a look at the unboxing video and you'll see why this is such a bad kit. It probably wasn't bad in the old days. When it was first tooled, the tooling was crisp, but now there are quite a few issues with it. I'm sure that a skilled model builder could probably do wonders with it, but there are more recent toolings for the same sort of price. So maybe not worth the money, but probably get quite a bit of fun out of it. Especially if you're not too worried about making mistakes or a model that doesn't look 100% accurate. But yeah, as I was talking about worst kits, I've got this. A Royal Air Force, it's licensed apparently, F4E Phantom model plane. So it doesn't even say, you know, like model kit. It's 1 to 125 scale. That's really obscure. It only cost me £2. It's got some facts on the back. It's snapped together model, no glue required, and stickers are included. And yes, it does have stickers. Look at that. There's a sheet of stickers there. You have to cut them out individually. The printing is pretty terrible. There's your instructions, not even properly put in the box, just sort of stuffed in. It sort of builds a little bit like Lego. I mean, it is a model kit. Everything's on the sprue, but you don't need to glue it. It is just sort of a clipped together plane. It's very crude. So, is it a model? Is it a toy? You be the judge. And here's something in a very tatty box. This has not survived well in the post when it came to me. The box just wasn't strong enough. So if you remember, I have done an unboxing on this. I've got this to go with another project that I'm working on. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get these done soon. 1/35th scale. They looked to be really well molded, but I did find them a little bit expensive for, you know, effectively what they are. But yeah, no, I can't complain. It's quite a good looking kit, really. Get a nice selection of figures, even a camel. So yeah, pretty cool. I haven't done many figures. I've only really done those small 1/76, 1/72nd scale figures. So doing these will be a bit of a challenge for me, a little bit out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I should make a good video when I get around to that. Here's another kit I've had for quite a while, a Focke-Wulf Ta 152, which is basically the upgraded version of the 190, isn't it? Someone will probably correct me now in the comments and say it's not even related. Yeah, cool. This is an old, I think it's a Matchbox retool. Its molding is generally okay, but it's very crude. It was something I bought sort of around when I first started my channel, 2016 sort of period. I did put a poll up, I think, to see if people wanted me to build this one, but something else won. So sadly it has sat in the stash for a while. I did write on the instructions the paint colours I was going to use and then didn't get any further. Sadly, that just went back on the shelf. So this P47, I've got one and two. I've got two of these. They were both bought for me for Christmas. I think they were bought by the same person actually, and they didn't realise that they'd actually bought two of the same kit, but that's okay because you get quite a number. I think you get at least two, maybe even three paint schemes inside there, and I've actually built one of these many years ago, and I'll dig it out at some point and show you what it looked like when I first started building. I built my first version of this back probably 20 years ago, and it's okay, but it's not like up to current standards of my builds. I mean, people probably don't rate my builds much anyway, but yeah, I built it back then because I was playing a lot of Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator, so that's showing my age. And the P-47 was an aircraft in that, and I wanted to build every aircraft in that game, so I ended up getting it because although there has been an Airfix version, and I was an Airfix fanboy back in the day, I couldn't find one, so I went for the Revell one instead. And actually, this was my first experience of ever building Revell kit, and I was very impressed. I thought all Revell kits were going to be like what was inside this box, and boy was I disappointed. Is that a suitable segue into the next kit? I don't know. People have told me bad things about this one. Some people say it hasn't got good fit, parts are misshapen perhaps, but I don't know. I have looked inside the box, but I couldn't tell you wholeheartedly. I can't say that a twin Otter is my expertise area. Some people in the comments probably say I don't have an expertise area. Haha. But yeah, I think I got this Hobbycraft in the UK. They send out like a voucher every year for your birthday, and it was a £5 voucher, and this was like reduced, so I only paid like a couple of pounds for this, which was pretty good. So I basically got this one almost for free. So yeah, pretty cool. I like the paint scheme. I don't have many yellow planes, but yellow is a very difficult colour to paint, so I might need a bit more practice with yellow before I do try and do a good job of this one. Let's take a look at some more train stuff. I've got a Dapol Kitmaster Stephenson's rocket. So that's sealed in the packet. Quite an old model kit. Comes with figures though, which is pretty cool. Some people have asked me to build this one on my channel. I can't remember why or when I got it. I think it just looks interesting. Should be a relatively easy build. Quite a few different colours to do. Yellow, sort of cream, white. So it might present a few challenges in the painting, but not necessarily in construction. Again, this is not a powered model train. I can't put it on the track and it go. It doesn't have a motor. It doesn't have metal wheels. It's all plastic. But the Kitmaster models were designed once upon a time to be pushed along, but I seriously doubt that that's going to be achievable with this one. And then on the same vein, model trains, I've got this dockside crane. Again, something I don't really build normally. I think my wife got me this one before that reason. She said, well, I've never seen you build a crane, so there you go. I saw it, looked interesting. I thought you'd like to have a go. You know, I do. I do want to have a go. Very grateful that my wife is so supportive of my hobby. Quite a bit of flash, actually. I haven't really looked at this. There's a bit of flash on this. Again, as with all the Dapol kits, they are ex-Kitmaster, ex-Airfix. They are pretty old, and I don't think Dapol particularly look after the toolings very well, and they use sort of a softer plastic than originally they would have been used. They're trying to get as much money out of the molds, basically. Use a softer plastic, they'll last longer. The tools will. But it does sort of compromise on the kit quality. Which is a bit of a shame, because they still charge the same prices for it. Like, this is probably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this is probably around £10, which is not cheap for a model kit, which is probably about 50 years old and not moulded to a great quality. Speaking of old kits, this is another old one I've got. Micro 72, a Yak 1M. Plastic there. Look at that, isn't that fantastic? Lovely bit of history here. Look at those instructions, and they have got an old smell to them as well. Like, yeah, some people will be screaming at me, don't build it, it's a bit of history, it's complete, you know, I've got these lovely instructions. Everything's in black and white, but, you know, that doesn't matter, because given the age of it, it's fine. The transfers, they look all right. I mean, they've yellowed, because, you know, they do over time. I potentially could bleach them to get them white again, or possibly copy them and print out some new ones. And then the parts in the box, again, still sealed. I've not had them out, but they look, you know, pretty good. There's not that much flash on them, because this was sort of like an original release of the kit when the tools were new. So, you know, yeah, you know, people are going to be saying don't build it, it's a bit of history, but I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll get rid of the instructions though, or the box art. I might keep that, I might frame it, I don't know, but at the moment it's safely sitting in my stash. And from old, we move on to the new. And I have this. It is one of the new Adventures in Plastic Thunderbird 2. And I pretty much got this on a whim. I saw it on the website and I bought it. And I don't know if this is a retool or a rebox of a kit that came out a few years ago. I know there have been other Thunderbird 2 kits, so it could possibly be. But yeah, I bought it. Thunderbird 2 was my favourite Thunderbird when I was a kid. Obviously I watched Thunderbirds growing up because that was what was on TV at the time. And Thunderbird 2, I don't know, like I just related to it, I guess. Like Thunderbird 1 was your sports car, and Thunderbird 2 was your cargo carrier. It was sort of like your estate car basically, and then you had your spaceship one, which was basically just a spaceship. I can't come up with a metaphor for that one. But yeah, that's why I think I related to it, because it was just sort of the more functional, the more multi-role version. I've had a quick look inside, but I'm not going to spoil it for you, so I will do an unboxing on this at some point. Cool, so I don't know how long this video's run, probably about 20 minutes now, so if you want to go have a break, pause it and then come back. We've still got some more to go, which is why at the beginning when I said don't judge me, please don't judge me, probably just over halfway, so bear with me if you want to see what I've got. So let's just crack straight on, and I'll look at a slightly older starter kit from Airfix. There we go, a Airfix Seahawk. This was given to me as a gift. I think someone was clearing out their house. They never built it, they didn't want it, and they were like, you build kits, here you go. And you know, brilliant, fantastic. It's quite an old tool, I'm led to believe. I've not actually had it out of the box. You can see there's quite a bit of dust on there, so it's been in storage a long time, even before I had it. Got a couple of paints on there, they're probably no good anymore, poly cement. So the box itself isn't that old, but I think the tooling inside is quite old. And then on the back we've got this lovely artwork. Not a very complicated paint scheme to do, white underneath, blue on the top, a few little bits and pieces in different colours. But yeah, I want to build this one, I really do. I just need to find time to do an unboxing and then a build video. And you know, every single kit, it's an unboxing and build at the same time. It just takes time, sadly. If I could quit my job and do this full time, then I would. But not at the moment, I'm afraid. YouTube doesn't pay that well. She's a cruel mistress. Most of you, I imagine, who watch my channel regularly will have seen this one, the Youngsters J87B1 Stuka from Airfix. It's the newer tool, not the old tool. I did build the old tool many years ago, but this is the new one. It's a lovely looking kit. It's got quite nice detail inside of it. One thing we didn't notice with the decals when I did my unboxing was that there's like, no, it's not there. Yeah, it's on, so on here, let's get this focus. There you go. There's like a little symbol there, that's a pig. But yeah, that's a pig on there. But on the transfers, the pig should always be facing forwards, apparently, and the other one isn't. So they both face the same direction on the sheet, which means that when you put them on, one will be facing forwards on one wheel and one will be facing the wrong way on the other wheel, which is a shame. So people have commented on the comments saying, why did Airfix do this? Honestly, I don't know. Clearly, you know, people make mistakes. We're only human after all. But yeah, you would have thought that they would have noticed that when they were doing it. Another German aircraft is this, a Hobby Boss 110 fighter. I'm pretty sure I built the Airfix one many years ago, and this, naturally, because it's probably more recent, and it's one of these easy assembly kits that Hobby Boss do, and Hobby Boss do quite nice kits. A little bit simple, maybe, but that's not a bad thing. But yeah, so this one does look to be better than the old Airfix one. But there was one thing I noticed, and I think it's because this might come with the option later on, you know, different versions, so like a BF110G or C or whatever, to have different armament. And I noticed this has got a moulded bomb rack on underneath, which I don't think was always there. This doesn't have bombs, so I think that shouldn't be there if you haven't got the bombs. Correct me if I'm wrong again, but yeah. Something I don't think any of you have seen yet on my channel or know that I bought was this. A 3.7 centimeter anti-tank gun. I think I actually got this one to do a practice of painting figures before I have a crack at those Mr. Masterbox ones that we just looked at. I don't have masses of experience with Tamiya kits, but yeah, it was cheap in the shop, and I just went, yeah, okay, impulse. It was an impulse buy. Yeah, just went, cool, get that. That's mine now. Have I had it open? Yeah, I've had it open, or it was never closed to start with. Generally, I think it looks okay, but we'll do an unboxing on this at some point. I've got a couple of more biplanes to show you. I've got a Gloucester Gladiator Mark 1. This is a kit which has been unboxed. It looks absolutely beautiful. Mold-wise, transfer-wise, I think I have got a small problem with one of the cockpit canopies. It comes with two because of two different versions. One of them I think is cracked, so that might inform my choice in which one I actually end up building. But I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. It's either going to be the Shuttleworth Collection one or the Irish Army Air Corps version. Is it Army Air Corps? Just Irish Air Corps version. Yeah, so eventually when I figure out which one it is, it will be built. And then the Hawker Demon, which is part of the Vintage Classic range. So you'll remember I've unboxed this one. There were a few issues with it. Some of the parts were broken or misshapen, which was a bit of a shame. It looks to be a pretty interesting aircraft, if I'm honest. And it should be, you know, like make a good video. But I was a little bit disappointed with it. Not as disappointed as I was with the next one. And I'm sure you all figured out that I was talking about this one. Oh, someone corrected me in the comments of the last video. Oh my word, Feisler Storch? I think that's what they said, Feisler Storch. Because I said Feisler Storch, and I think they said it was Feisler Storch. Again, I'm sure someone's going to correct me in the comments for saying it wrong for the second time. But yeah, no, when I did the unboxing for this one, it wasn't fantastic. I think I again bought this on a whim. But don't know, like, yeah, I'll build it at some point, but I'm not like, it's not at the top of my list purely because it just looked quite bad inside. Swings and roundabouts. There are better versions of this in 1/72 scale. I am led to believe. I think there's an Academy version, and there might even be another one. So if you wanted a Feisler Storch, then this is not necessarily the one you want to get. Not expensive, but probably not necessarily worth that either. Another vintage classic is the AEC Matador and gun. This should be fairly simple to build. I have unboxed this one, I'm pretty sure, on my channel. Oh, I can't remember. Have a look, Google it. I can't remember. There are so many kits in my stash. I'm not even finished. I'm not even close to being finished. But yeah, this should... Yeah, no, yeah, I did unbox this one because someone told me that they converted it into a civilian version, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. It doesn't look too bad on the inside, looks like an alright kit. Would be fantastic with, because it's 1/76 scale, 00 gauge trains. So yeah, civilianising it makes a lot of sense. And then another vintage classic, which is the Tiger 1, which again, a lot of people pointed out it has got its issues. It's missing vital parts, supposedly. There's parts on the back which it hasn't got. It's not necessarily the most accurate of kits. Fairly simple to build, I think, not too difficult to paint, but I am led to believe, well, you know, Airfix have announced that they're doing a new version of this as a sort of starter set, new tooling of the Tiger 1. So let's just see how they are. Maybe I'll get one and do a comparison. Little change of tempo here. This is very different to what I've got in the stash. This is a West Wings Hawker Hurricane Mark 1. And this is all wood. It's a rubber powered model. I got this on eBay for £2. The person I went and collected it actually. He didn't want it. He'd part started it, but I just don't think he was interested in doing it. Either it was too hard, or he just didn't have time, or he had nowhere to fly it, or they just were getting rid. I think actually maybe they were moving house. It just wasn't coming with them. So I made a bid of £2. Believe me, I wasn't going to go over 3, 4 or 5. I probably would have gone up to 5 and called it a day. But no one else bid on it, and I went round the next day and collected it. So transfers, yeah, they're transfers. So normal transfers, some clear paper, tracing paper, big old plans, a little bit of a booklet on stuff, and then you've got the parts. So you can see here, he's already cut most of the parts out. There's the nose cone, that's a bit misshapen. He included some glue, he didn't want it. there's the propeller and things, and then there's the rest of the parts still on the sheets. But as you can see, I've got to cut them out if I want to use them. These are not the sort of like laser etched or die cut kits that you can get these days. This is one of the older looking ones. Maybe it's just the style that they used. But yeah, I do have the intention of actually getting this one flying. So if you'd be interested in seeing this, let me again know in the comments. Bit of a shame that doesn't fit in the box and they've had to fold it, isn't it? Cool, so we looked at the Apache earlier, but I've got a couple more helicopters. I've got this Airbus EC135, big yellow colour. Again, I think that's partly why it's put me off building it. I got it and I was like, yeah, yellow, amazing, looks fantastic on the box. And a couple of images there. But yeah, no, looked inside of it and I'm like, I'm in an RN now. Helicopter's a bit outside of my comfort zone. And then to go off this one, I've got that one as well, the 500D police helicopter. This has had an unboxing video on my channel. Comes with a motorbike and some figures. So not bad, it looks alright in general. But yeah, I'll get round to it eventually. Cool, I think I've got one more vehicle to look at, and it's this. The Airfix Vintage Classic World War I mail tank. Again, unboxing on my video. Unboxing on my video? Unboxing video on my channel. There you go. Old kit, not much to say. Interesting paint scheme. Should be an interesting video. Would be perfect for a diorama. There is another version of this, which is the female tank rather than the male tank, which only has machine guns. Yeah, pretty cool. So with that out the way, let's talk P-51 Mustang. Because obviously, who hasn't got a P-51 Mustang in the stash? And then he says that, and then someone comments and says, I haven't got one. So first up, I've got a Blue Nose P-51 from Airfix. I've built quite a few of this exact tooling a number of times, but I haven't built the Blue Nosed version. So generally, not a bad kit, quite nice, but slightly different paint scheme. I also have a P-51D from Academy, which comes with a Willis Jeep as well, which would be quite an interesting build. It looks similar to the Airfix kit in general, but there are some major differences. I have had a look inside. It's got standard Academy transfers, which might not be so good, but you know, it was the interesting colours of these roundels that caught my eye in the shop, and I just went, yep, alright, I'll have that. And then my next P-51 is a P-51C. So a slightly different version of a P-51. I built a P-51B many years ago, the old Airfix version, but I've never built a C version, so this will be pretty cool. Aluminium all over, got some interesting variation though on the tails. I think it comes with another version as well, but I could be wrong, but I'll do an unboxing at some point. And then the last P-51 kit I've got in the stash is, well, kind of a P-51 kit. It's an F-82 twin Mustang, so it's two P-51s joined together, and it's the monogram version. So basically, it is Revell basically, but Monogram and Revell are like best buds, aren't they? So this looks to be quite an interesting kit as well, but it is a little bit older. Let's have a quick look. Got those standard Monogram instructions. I haven't had this one out. It does come with two paint schemes, a silver one and a black one, and I'm actually, I mean, as much as, you know, people like to see different colours, I quite like the look of the black one. It's got this massive like radar pod under the wings, and these sort of like stars on the wing tips, which is very, very cool, I think. So yeah, let me know in the comments, black or silver, which one would you prefer to see when I eventually do this one? So I'm going to speed things up a bit now, because I'm just getting tired and I've been doing this for ages. This has probably been like, this is like nearly an hour of recording. So, yeah, I'm just going to speed this up. Mr. Craft, again, not my favourite brand, but I've got a Devotine D520. It doesn't look too bad on the inside, actually looks to be quite nicely moulded, but I guess we'll have to see how it is when it gets built. I've got a Fairy Fulmer from Mr. Craft as well. Again, doesn't look too bad. Pretty sure I did an unboxing on this. Transfers, maybe a bit questionable, but generally looks okay. And then I've got a Val. Is it a Val? Type 99? I'm pretty sure it's a Val. Someone tell me down below. This is the Pearl Harbor version. You get 4 paint schemes in there, but this, I'm pretty sure, is a pretty bad looking kit. It doesn't look too bad. Some people have told me it's a bad kit then. It doesn't look too bad. It hasn't got as much flash as the IL-2. It looks okay, but it probably won't go together too well. I've got a Hunting Percival Jet Provost. This is a gift set version. It comes with the paints and things. I have already built this exact kit on my channel. Kit in itself is fine. The paint though, not great. That red, that Humbrol 19 is pretty bad. So if you want to see a build video of that, go and check it out. But I'll probably get some different transfers and just use the parts from in this to build a kit in a different scheme. If you've been watching a while, you remember that I've become a member of the FX Club, and this was the club kit that they sent me. The actual aircraft, the tooling, the mold quality looks really good, but yeah, not so sure about the paint schemes. For a limited edition kit, I wasn't particularly impressed. You've got a white one and a silver one, and then just basically the transfers are different. Yeah, so it was a bit underwhelming, but you know, it's better than a kick in the face. I've got another Nat. This is the red version, or you can do it in the version from Hot Shots, the movie. An unboxing of this exists on the channel, but in essence it is exactly the same as the previous Nat that I have done. I've got some of these Messerschmitt 109s. If you'll remember, I did this as part of my starter set challenge. Nice little kit. I've unboxed it already, videos on the channel somewhere, and I think that's why I bought this again, because you can build the E3 and the E4 version from the same tooling. So I've got one and I've got two. So at some point I will do something with these. And then moving on from that, as previously mentioned, you can get the E4 tooling as well. Same kit, but this comes with a different paint scheme. So if we look on the back and just compare, yeah, they are quite different, aren't they? There's a lot more going on this one. I mean, this is sort of a starter set gift set, so it's supposed to be quite simple, but this is the normal release, so it's going to be a little bit more complicated. I think that's put me off a little bit because I don't really have much practice of doing modelling with my new airbrush or by hand, so it's something I'm going to have to work on before I get this one done. Staying with the German theme, I've got a FW190A8. Actually, no, I've got two. Again, same reason. I've already built this on my channel, so it's quite a good kit. Might or might not do it in the paint scheme on there. Perhaps try out my newer airbrush with it. But yeah, it might just get some different transfers and do a custom build instead. But I have got the same kit again, but in different paint schemes. I don't know why I keep buying these. A little bit more complicated, same sort of deal. Not too similar, but different enough. I've got the same sort of thing going on with the Hawker Hurricane, so I've got some of these starter / gift set versions. I've got two of those. There you go, two exactly the same there. I've built one of these on my channel already, and I've built a different version with a different paint scheme, exactly the same tooling though. But I also have this Mark 1 early. Comes with a two-bladed prop rather than just a three. So it's a slightly earlier version, and it comes with different fairings under here and on the tail area, I think. Should be an interesting kit to build. I mean, it's going to be exactly the same as the other one, really, but it's got the earlier paint scheme. So yeah, would be nice to do. I always wanted one with a two-bladed prop because they just look a little bit different, don't they? This is going to be sort of the penultimate model that we look at today. Well, I've got a few more models, but they're all along the same theme, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. But this is a World War II RAF vehicle set. You can see that it's not suffered too well. It was sent to me when I was working away at one point, and it's been crumpled a little bit, but everything inside is still good. The mold quality is really crisp. It's quite a new tool. Only probably it's less than 10 years old tooling wise, and you've got some pretty cool vehicles in there. You've got a light utility vehicle, a motorcycle, and you can either have it your Bedford water carrier or light truck. So I'm undecided what I want to do with these, but there might be a project in the works that would use these at some point, so stay tuned. And now we come to the last kit that I can find for this video. And I'm sure you probably have all gone, where are the Spitfires? So here they are. I have the Revell Supermarine Spitfire Mark V, and there's quite a bit of dust on there. It's obviously been in the stash for a long time. For some reason I bought these because I wanted to do a comparison video, but I haven't yet done it. So I've got the Spitfire Mark V in 1/72 scale. and the Spitfire Mark 5B. So for some reason Revell has two different toolings for a Spitfire Mark 5, but you can build a Mark 5B, I'm pretty sure, out of this kit. So yeah, I don't know, like, why are there two? Why are there two toolings? They're basically the same size. This one's got 42 parts. This one, don't know, doesn't tell me on the box that I can see. Probably does. It comes with decals for two versions. I think that one only comes with decals for one. But yeah, those are my two Spitfire Mark 5B kits from Revell. I've got two of the 1/72nd scale Submarine Spitfire gift sets from Airfix. One is slightly older than the other. I think this one's older. No, maybe this one's older because the printing is slightly different on the box, but they are identical. I can't really remember why I got them, probably because they were cheap and I had ideas to do things with them. I use them sort of as tester kits. You know, if I need to build something to try out a new technique, then this is a perfect kit to do. It's easy enough to build, it's not complicated, and you can always do something different with it if you've already built this exact version, which I have a number of times. But leading on from them, and the Mark 5s that I looked at earlier, I have a Submarine Spitfire Mark 5A from Airfix, which is basically the Mark 1 tooling with a few little upgrades. You can build a Mark 2 out of this kit if you want to, but I bought it to do a comparison with the Submarine Spitfire Mark 5B, which I got on eBay. I couldn't find the more recent red version of the box, but the plastic parts inside here will be the same. This is a sort of 90s, early noughties kit. It's still sealed, it's not been opened, so it should be in pristine condition. This one cost me £7, this one cost me £7, and guess what else cost me £7? That's right, the brand new Spitfire Mark 5C, also from Airfix, so I can do a comparison of all of their Spitfire Mark 5s. Wow, which actually that's not accurate, because they've releasing a new version of the Spitfire Mark 5C as a starter beginner set, but it's a different tool to this, so again I'd have to get that one to compare. So I have 5 Spitfire Mark 5Bs to do a comparison of. I have got problems and I'm sorry, but that's it. Those are all of the model kits that I have that are small in my stash, and thank you so much for bearing with me as I go through this video. I know it's been a long one, and I'm really sorry that I've had to put you through sort of the stress that I've had to go through with finding all of these kits and then showing you all of them. So thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. Naturally, having a lot of kits in the stash costs a lot of money, and I'm very fortunate that my patrons over on Patreon and my channel members here on YouTube help pay for my addiction. Massive thanks to these guys on screen. And if you'd like to learn more about what becoming a patron or channel member means, take a look at the link in the description. I'd like to take this chance whilst I'm here to welcome my newest member to the community. That's Devon, who has joined as a channel member over on YouTube. So massive welcome to you, Devon. I think it's probably time to wrap this one up now. So let me know down in the comments, which kits do you wish you had? Which kits do you want me to see? Do you think I've got a problem? At some point I will make a video on the bigger kits that I've got in the stash. Believe me, there are not as many bigger kits, but there is enough to justify their own video. So if you want to see that, let me know down in the comments. Whilst you're down there writing a comment, if you could leave a like, that would be fantastic. It helps the YouTube algorithm boost the video, help the engagement, it helps other modelers see the video as well, and that would be massively appreciated. And finally, I think the last thing to say is thank you to you for watching this video, for bearing with me and seeing a little bit of a delve into the mind of a madman. And I will see you on the workbench again next time.